As some of you already know, big shocker that I would be a tech guy, right? You see me walking around, I have a laptop, of course, I have a tablet, Android phone, come on, I know. One of the things, though, that is near and dear to my heart, which you may not know, is computer programming. I personally am a second-year computer science major. On top of that, I also worked in IT for 2 years as a Novell network administrator as well as IT support. So I did a lot of I was the guy that you called when your computer crashed. That was me. So I have many, many stories I could tell you, both good and bad, but I'm going to spare you today, so thank the Lord for that. What I will say, though, is that computers are an integral part of our lives. They take care of just about every type of environmental control you can think of. They manage our information, and on top of that, they aid in all of our communications. Now, when you think of computers, you may think of a lot of the direct ways that we interact with computers. For example, if you've ever been pulled over by law enforcement, you notice that they have a computer right there in the car where they can run your plate and your ID information. You also have medical information. Every time you go to the hospital, they make you fill out the 19 different forms. They want to know your information, and all that information goes into a database. Further, as was pointed out before, entertainment. CGI movies. I love Nemo, one of my favorite movies ever. So of course that had to make the cut as well. And of course none of us could actually get through college without Google, right? Not possible. When we talk in terms of computers in our environment, there's a bunch of different things that the computer does. For example, how many of you knew that computers are one of the main controls in water process management? In other words, all the stuff that goes through your sewers, it has to be cleaned in a way, and computers are your primary control. On top of that, every time you drive down the street and you come to a traffic light, did you know that, you know how those times when you get the perfect speed and you just hit greens all the way to the time when you're getting to the place where you want to go? And then there's other times when you hit a red light every single time. Well, that too is also controlled by a computer. Also, you have other ways, air travel, as well as just the simple regulation of the water that comes out for drinking and cooking purposes. All these things are regulated by computers. On top of this, computers manage our information. Now again, we talked a little bit about, when we get pulled over and law enforcement stops and medical information, but did you know that one of the single largest databases of information about you happens to be with your insurance carrier? They have all your medical history, they have your family's medical history, and all this information is interrelated. On top of that, another very big database, which you probably may have not known, is at the California DMV. I know we all love spending time there. So these are databases where we interact with computers and we don't even really know it because they are managing our information for us. Further, computers aid our communications. All of your wireless transmission for your cell phones, it's all handled by computer processors. Satellite communications, which is going to be the next up-and-coming thing, so if you want to invest, little ticker there, satellite comm. Satellite communications is one of the biggest things that's coming up in computer information technology. Everything's going to the cloud. And all this is going to be based upon satellite transmission, which, as you know, are controlled by microprocessors, which are controlled by programs. Therefore, we're going to have a quick little demonstration. And I need a volunteer. Who would like to be my volunteer? Going once, going twice, going three. It's not bad, I promise you. Nobody. Okay, well, I'll use myself. Since no one else.
Liz will do it.
I'll do it.
You'll do it? Okay. Well, Liz, today's your lucky day. I have cold hard cash. All right? Now, this is $70. It was $100, but I got hungry on the way over here, so sorry about that. So what happened is I just gave her $70, and I'm going to loan that to you, right? And I'm only going to charge you 10% interest, okay? So how many days do you want that?
Days?
Days.
7 days.
7 days. Okay, well, I created this little program here, and for sake of time, I'm not going to go through all of it. What we will do here is we're going to say, how would you like to be known for this loan?
Liz.
Liz. Okay, thank you, Liz. And I loaned Liz $70, okay? And Liz, you know what? Since you're such a nice person, I'm only going to charge you 5% interest, okay? So I'll go ahead and put a 5 in there, okay? And how many days did you want the loan?
7.
7 days. Okay, so Liz, guess what? At the end of 7 days, at that interest, you're going to owe me $514.50. Does that work for you?
No.
No, not quite. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you, oh look, if we go down here, my math was wrong. Computer Programming 101, you always check the syntax. So if I go back here and I change this little statement here, which will invoke this math right here instead of the incorrect math, we take the same program, we rebuild it, and then we debug it. So Liz, that was $70, 5% interest for how many days? 7 days. Wrong one again. Oh yeah, I see I have the wrong one. Again, check your syntax. Now it's only $119, so therefore you just saved yourself $470, give or take. So that should tell you the importance of computer programming and syntax.